Why did you consider going to Turkey?
There's three things. I was challenged. I was given a National Geographic magazine, and I was rebuked.
What was the most rewarding part, or what did you like the most on the mission field?
Why don't you answer that one first?
I think Shashala said people are the same everywhere. The needs that people have is the same everywhere.
Speaking of fears, like for every day of the month and every day of the year, we have a verse, do not fear. And there's another verse, I've not given you a spirit of fear. Welcome to Grace People Talk, GPT. This is something that we have started in Greater Grace Kowai. And this is part 2 of the missions conversations that you're watching. This is unbelievable. This is God. And I have a friend from America, and I have a friend from Calcutta, and they are here. And I was wondering, like, what should I do next in my GPT? And these two guys are here, and I want to get the best out of them. There is something about learning, right? And one of my prayer is that I want to learn till the end of my life. I do not want to come to a place where I'm just totally blocked in my mind and not learn. That is not a good thing for me. I want to unlearn also many things, because learning is easy, unlearning sometimes it's very hard. And Pastor Roger, you went and you lived in Turkey for 7 years, and I want to salute you. And I'm really, in tears that you did that. And I think it's Billy Graham. I'm not right with the numbers. It's Billy Graham that said, somebody asked him, given an option, how would you have lived your life differently? And he said, I would have spent 3 times as much as in prayer compared to the ministry. And you went and you lived there for 7 years, and you have come back now. You are continuing to serve. And did it cross your mind at any point in time, okay, this I should have done a little more different? Maybe when I go to next time, of course, there is growth, there is maturity. And did God anything speak to you personally as to, like, I could have done this little differently? Did you get my question?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For me, so I lived in Izmir for 7 years, but actually I lived in Istanbul for like almost 4 years. So the first 4 years, I was like just gathering information and learning how to operate, because I was such a foreigner. I was such a fish out of water. Like for Pastor Felix, I mean, I know you're going to another state from what I understand, and you're learning another language, Bengali, right? Yeah. But for me, I mean, we have different skin. I'm sorry. You can't hide my blue eyes. And like, I would like to have different eyes. I'd love to look Turkish. There was many times when I was like, I wish I could look Turkish. I would say the one thing that I would do differently is the first year I put a lot of pressure on myself to blend in. But if I were to do it again, I would just be myself more. And just accept who I am, And okay, like, I don't like to say that I'm American too much in another country. I'm not boasting in it, but it's okay. Like, so at first I kind of tried to disguise it a little bit. And I think what happened is it put a lot of pressure on us, and we weren't as free and as bold as I think we could have been. So the next time I go, and like the trips, like even like here being in India, I'm just me. I'm me who I am in Christ, and I'm growing. Not everything is perfect, and people will accept me as I am, and maybe they won't, but I'm just going to be like a duck and let the water run off my back if things are that way. And I think we look at Paul's life, and he was really bold and didn't really care what people thought, and then at the same time, he learned to be with people, sit where they were. So I think that it would have taken the pressure off that first year or two, and I could relax more. So I look forward to the next page and just receiving who I am.
Yeah, you must have had a lot of incidents which caught your attention and which is in your memory. Tough ones and humorous ones.
Oh,
Can you give us one humorous incident which released all your pressure?
a humorous incident. Okay. Yeah, that when you guys asked that the other day, that was I mean, I don't know. I think most of my humorous incidents, because I can't really recall them with clarity and profoundness, but most of my humorous incidents came from me learning the language. So I studied the language. My wife and I, our team, we all went to the same school. And there was just times, I think, if you know, like studying a language, you have to be really humble. If you take it too seriously, like you're going to be too hard on yourself. At least that's you guys are really studious people. So you guys crush languages. Like you speak like 3 languages or 4, right? Like, so I'm amongst like, you guys are like, language is nothing for you. For us Americans, it's like, we're like, American, that's a language. You know, like, it's like, no, it's not. It's English and not everyone knows it. So when I learned the language there were many times I used words that were so close to bad words. And in Turkey, people are very shy. They don't want to correct you. And that was like, to me, it was hilarious because I would find out later from another person in my class or my teacher. And I was like, I would just laugh because I thought, like, guys, why didn't you tell me? I can't leave this school, like walking out the door, like asking for some piece of food, and I was asking for something else. But I come to find out they're shy, but they're actually really sneaky people, and they think it's funny because they kind of want to watch you go out and like say that, and like. So there, it was a funny moment for me where I got to see who they were, but then I also learned to laugh at myself. So
So going from a humorous incident to most humiliating incident. No, I'm just so just a syllable change could mean a word could mean something else, right? In different languages. So I was thinking about this incident, like humorous, yes, and when I went to the mission field first, and I slept through the whole service. In the sense, I slept home. I didn't wake up on time, and I missed the service. And I was wondering, oh, you are a missionary.
yeah,
Oh,
you failed.
I failed. What will
You did
people
not fail.
what will the church people in the church think? It was most like not humiliating, but I was like embarrassed of myself. But then I had to live a lot of grace, and I ordered the most favorite dish of mine for lunch, and I kind of cooled myself off. So I would like to ask you, like, did you have any kind of experience like such experiences?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think, food was an interesting thing. I I I'm an American, so we think about fast food a lot, and but in Turkey there's not a lot of fast food, and so I had to learn a lot, and I love the food, and I was learning like I am here in India. The food is just incredible, like southern Indian food. It's amazing. Last night was incredible. We went out last night and we had what did we eat? Yeah, no, jigar. Oh man. So these things were like amazing to me. But in Turkey, they use all the parts of an animal, and so they took me to a famous soup place. And in my country, soup is like chicken noodle soup, tomato soup, vegetable soup, creamy soup, mushroom soup. Like, it's very simple. But in Turkey, because of the cow, they love cows. They have different soup for different body parts. So without explaining the body parts, all the body parts, I once was taken to a soup shop, and the soup, again, you can't see it. It's soup, right? Isn't that the thing about soup? And I had the soup and it was wonderful. Actually, I sat down and I ate it. I didn't even think about it because we were at a conversation like this. We were eating bread and there was some spices in it. And after I walked out, I came home, told my wife about it. And I remember my wife was with someone and they were like, "Where did you go?" And I explained to them, like this famous is called kelepacha. Kelepacha was the soup for the like the like cut off parts of a cow's, like not the meat, but like the brain, the tongue, the toe, the tail, and some other parts. And I was horrified. I was like, I need to go to the bathroom right now. And like my kids never let it go. Every time I ate soup, they would make fun of me. They were like, "Dad, you should ask. You should ask what's in your soup next time." And so I was known as the guy who kind of like ate anything without asking. So I've learned my lesson with that one.
Yeah, I was thinking about contemplation. We were walking from our home to the church now. Pastor Roger asked, "What are your next year's plan? And what do you want to do?" And such questions actually take us back and puts us to rest, and we want to think. And you are there in Cal for 2 years. Yeah. Right, like you have been doing something, doing. I think it's Pastor Jason Moore who said, "We are not human doing; we are human beings." Is there something that you are thinking that, okay, now I'm going back after the conference and I want to do this a little differently? And you have something in your mind?
Yeah. I think it's good to examine your work a little bit as to how it is going and where you are getting your responses from. Not that we are compromising on any of our convictions, but it's good to examine, I mean, it could be like I was doing an outreach and I was not getting any good result in that place. But I had to start off what I said earlier in the first episode, it's about adding value to people. What unlearning I had to do was I was like forcing people to come to church. God told me, bring them to Jesus first. Just do that. And they will come to church, so I had to unlearn that, and it kind of released me also, and that I'm not like pushing people to come to church. So I just present the gospel. I'm like friend to them. So that's one big unlearning I had to do. And then some learnings where, thanks to Pastor Vijay and some other friends with whom I connect. And so we started movie nights. And movie night is like a good response that I'm getting, because there are young people. It's not like doctrine or Bible, but it's the message is there in the movie. So I'm like able to, garner their attention towards the movie and then, creatively present the message. So movie nights are doing good for us. Then we started our youth programs. Even that, we have like really awesome worship. I made friends with another, Northeast brother who's like very anointed and gifted in music. Wow. And he can really, really take the crowd. And again, not compromising on any of our standards or our convictions, but it's just that, we are trying out these new methods. And even in the youth meeting, we named it Torch Bearers. We do like a small role play kind of a script, like we did the Good Samaritan story, and we gave out some puzzles and some questions for them to like solve, and I saw them doing like a group activity. And so they are like giving us good responses. So I'm also thinking of doing the AV part, because there's a need for reaching people with the message in Hindi and in Bengali, where we are connected. So yeah, so those are my thoughts, Pastor Guru.
So we will end this episode at this junction. You want to know more, isn't it? Right? Yeah. So we have two audience in the studio. One is Tanu, that is Agi's wife, and she has come all the way to see how her husband is talking. Right? Is he doing a good job? And there is another person with us, a very precious person. Wow. His name is Caleb, and he is kind of like listening. And he's a young boy. What are these guys talking about? And going from place to place, and he is listening to his dad saying, "Okay, I was asking people to come to church, and then later on, I'm asking them to go to Jesus." That's amazing. We want to end this episode at this junction, and thank you so much for watching, and continue watching for the third episode. And God bless you.